In this lecture we talk about straight lines. So let's start with the concept of slope of a line. If this is L1, the line L1, and we want to find the slope, that means we are interested in finding the ratio rise over run. So this ratio rise over run is called the slope, and it's denoted as m, little m. If m is greater than 0, that means the slope is positive and the line is increasing. If it's less than 0, then the line is decreasing. If it's 0, then the line is horizontal. And if m is undefined, then it's vertical. And it can be undefined, as we'll talk later, if the denominator, run, is 0. Okay, so I'll give you some details about this later. But for now, the slope is the ratio rise over run. So we determine 2 points on that line. Say this point, let's call it x1, y1, and this point, let's call it x2, y2. After determining these 2 points, we find this distance and this distance, or this length and this length. This distance starts at the height y1 and end at height y2. So this distance is y2 minus y1. This is called change in y. And here for run, this is x1 and this is here x2. That's the horizontal distance. So run is x2 minus x1. The length of that distance, the length of that side of this rectangle, or the length of run, that distance, is the change in x. So we can define the slope m as change in y over change in x, and that's rise over run. And using the 2 points here, we can write it as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In some books you may see this notation, delta y, that means y2 minus y1, change on y, over delta x, change in x. When you read delta x, that means x2 minus x1. When you read delta y, that means y2 minus y1. Now, what is an equation of the line? If we have a line, how to find the equation? The equation in the standard form can be written as y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope. So the slope, this is the standard form of the equation of the line. So m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So in order to write the equation of the line, all what we need to do is to find m and b. We can find m using this formula, especially if we know 2 points. Now, since this is the standard form for the equation of the line, then if we have an equation like negative 2x plus 1, the slope is negative 2, just the coefficient of x. But if it's written this way, then this is not written in the standard form. We need to isolate y by adding 1, and we get 2x plus 5. Now the coefficient of x is the slope. Now let's sketch this function, this linear function, negative 3x plus 4, or this line. In order to sketch this line, this is a line. That means all what we need to do is to find 2 points and then we connect them with a straight line. So how to do that? We can choose 2 values of x. Let's choose -4, or let's choose negative. If we choose -2, I don't. Okay, let's choose -1 for x, and 2. When x is -1, what is the value of y? So when x equals -1, then y equal, we just plug it here. Y equals -3 times -1 plus 4, and that's 3 plus 4, which is equal to 7. So this value is 7. And when x is 2, then y equals -3 times 2 plus 4, and that's -6 plus 4, which is equal to -2. So the 2 points, or the ordered pairs, are -1, 7 and 2, -2. And then we plot the 2 ordered pairs. Let me show you the axes here. So we have the x-axis here and the y-axis here. This is the y-axis. Okay. We want to graph this line, so we determine the 2 points. -1 is here. -1 and 7. 7 is between 6 and 8, so it's here. So this point is -1, 7. The other point is 2, -2. 2 on x and -2 on y, this point. Now we connect those 2 points. So this is y equals -3x plus 4. My graph is not very accurate, but it's okay to show you how the graph looks like. As you can see, the function is decreasing, the line is decreasing. That's because the slope is negative. It's -3, so it's decreasing. So the third step is to draw that line, straight line, that connect the 2 points. Now we want to find the slope m of the line that passes through the points -1, 1 and 5, 3. So in order to find the slope, we apply this formula, the basic formula for the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now we need 2 points, x1, y1 and x2, y2. This point is x1, y1, this point is x2, y2, and then we plug it into this formula to get 3 minus 1 over 5 minus -1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 5 minus -1 is 5 plus 1, which is 6. That's equal to 1/3. So this is the slope. Now 2 lines are parallel if they have same slope or the slope is undefined. For example, this line L1 and this line L2, we say that those 2 lines are parallel, and we use this symbol to denote that they are parallel. So we read here L1 is parallel to L2. And as you can see, the slope of the first one is equal to the slope of the second line. Or if the slopes are undefined, and this happens when they are vertical, this line and this line, the slopes are undefined because the denominator is 0. The denominator of the basic slope formula is 0. That means they are undefined. In this case, they are parallel. The two lines are perpendicular. Perpendicular if the slope of one of them is negative, the reciprocal of the slope of the other one, or sometimes written this way: m1 times m2 is -1. But for purposes of applications, it's better to use this formula. M1 equals negative 1 over M2. And similarly, M2 equals negative 1 over M1. So one of the slopes is equal to negative reciprocal of the other slope. Let's take some examples. So which of the following lines, this is a typo, lines, are parallel and which are perpendicular? Okay, so let's take a look at these lines, L1, L2, L3, L4, and L5. In order to distinguish the parallel ones, we need first to make sure that all of them are written in the standard form. I mean mx plus b. As we can see, all of them are written in the standard form, even this one, because this is 3x plus 0. So it's written in the form mx plus b. B in this case is 0. Good. Now, they are parallel if they have same slope, and the slope is the coefficient of x if the equation is written in the standard form. So let's look at L1. L1 has slope equals 3. Now we need to look for same slope. If we look at L2, it has the same slope. The coefficient of x is 3. So L2 has slope 3. So they are parallel. And what else? L3, no, it has reciprocal of 3, 1/3. So it's not parallel. What about L4? Yes, L4 has slope equals 3. What about L5? No, the slope is negative 3. So those three lines, L1, L2, and L4, are parallel to each other. What about the perpendicular ones? For perpendicular, we want one of the slope of one of them is negative reciprocal of the slope of the other one. So let's look at this slope of L3 and L5. The slope of L5 is negative 3. Is it equal to negative 1 over slope of some other lines like slope of L3? Let's see. Negative 1. What is the slope of L3? 1/3. And then we flip the denominator to get negative 3. So negative 3 is equal to negative 3. That's correct. So that means L5 is perpendicular to L3. And as you can see, here I used this symbol to denote perpendicular case. So we read this, L5 is perpendicular to L3. Now we want to find the equation of the line that passes through the point 1,5 with the slope negative 1/2. So we have a point, let's call it x1, y1, and we have a slope. So we can use another formula of the line. We know that this formula mx plus b is called slope intercept. That's the standard form of the line, the equation of the line. It's called slope intercept because we have slope m and intercept b. And there is another equivalent formula that's called slope point formula. This is given by y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. By the way, when you simplify this, you get this form, the slope intercept form. So those are the well-known forms of the equations of the line. So we can use either one is okay, but sometimes we need to look at, actually most of cases we need to look at what is given in the problem. In the problem we are given a point and we are given a slope, so we use slope point formula. So y minus, what is y1? y1 is 5 equals what is the slope, negative 1/2 times x minus 1. Then we need to simplify it to write it in this form, the standard form. We have 5, but before we get rid of this 5, we want to simplify the right hand side. So negative 1/2 times x is negative 1/2 x. Negative 1/2 times negative 1 is 1/2. And then we add 5 to both sides. So y equals negative 1/2 x plus what? Plus 1/2 plus 5. Now we need to get a common denominator. We multiply this by 2, numerator and denominator. So we get 1 plus 5 times 2 is 10, all over the common denominator 2. That's 11 over 2. So we add 11 over 2 here. This is the equation of the line that passes through the point 1, 5 and has slope -1/2. Now we want to find the equation of the line that passes through 2 points. We are not given the slope, so we need to find the slope. To find the slope, we apply y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But what is x1, y1? What is x2, y2? So this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So we write -6 minus -2 over 7 minus -1. And that is equal to -6 plus 2 is -4. 7 plus 1 is 8. That is -1/2. So the slope is -1/2. Now we need to find the equation of the line. So let's use, since we are given some points, 2 points, and we know the slope, we can use the slope point formula to solve this or to find this equation. So y minus y1 is -2 equals the slope -1/2 times x minus x1. So this is plus, this is a plus, y plus 2 equals -1/2 x -1/2, because we multiply -1/2 by +1. And then we subtract 2 to isolate y. Y equals -1/2 x. Now -1/2 minus 2, then we get a common denominator. So the common denominator is 2. -1 minus 4, that's -5. So it's -5 over 2. This is the equation written in the standard form. Now we want to find the equation of the line that passes through the points, the point -2, 2, and parallel to. This is very important, parallel to this line. Okay, so we want to find the equation. We are given 1 point, so let's call it xy or x1, y1. It's your choice, depending on which equation you want to use. And parallel to, so in order to write the equation, we know the point, so y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we use point slope or slope point formula. But we know the point x1, y1, but we don't know the slope. How to find the slope of this line? We find the slope of this line using this information. This line is parallel to the given line. Parallel to the given line have the same slope. The same slope as the slope of this line. Now, what is the slope of this line? One student may say the slope is the coefficient of x, and that's 7. This is a wrong answer, because this equation is not written in the standard form. We need to isolate y first. So we have 7x minus 6y minus 8 equals 0, and then we subtract 7x, we get -6y minus 8 equals -7x, and then we get rid of the 8 on the left hand side, we add 8 to both sides, we get -6y equals -7x plus 8, and then we divide by the coefficient of y, so we divide by -6 each side or each term to get y equals 7/6x, because negative over negative is positive, and positive or negative is negative. 8/6. What is 8/6? 8/6, if we divide by 2, we get 4/3. It's better to simplify it. So minus 4/3. So this is this form should be equivalent to this form. So, but from this equation we can find the slope. What is the slope? The slope is 7/6. And since the slope of the given line is 7/6, that means our slope here is the same because they are parallel. So the equation becomes y minus y1, which is 2, equals the slope 7/6 times x minus x1, which is -2. Minus minus is a plus, so y minus 2 equals 7/6x plus. Now 7/6 times 2, we just multiply the numerator by 2, which is 14/6. And then we add 2 to both sides, we get rid of this negative 2, so we have y equals 76x plus 14 over 6 plus 2, and then we can multiply by 6 here, we get 12 here plus 14, which is 26 over 6. We can simplify more by dividing by 2, that's 13 over 3. So we have 13 over 3. This is the equation of the required equation of the line. Another example, we want to find the equation of the line that passes through the point 4, 5 and perpendicular now to this given line. Okay, same thing, similar thing. We apply y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 because we are given a point here. So this is x1, y1. We can use a slope point formula of the equation of the line. Now we know x1, y1. We want to find m. So x1, y1 are given. M is not given, but we are given information here. This line is perpendicular to the given line. What does that mean? That means the slope of this line, the slope that we are looking for, is equal to -1 over the slope of the given line. So all what we need to do is to find the slope of the given line, this line here. But you know that for x plus 7y minus 9 equals 0, we need to find the slope of this. The slope is not 4. We need to isolate y. So let's subtract 4x. We get 7y minus 9 equals -4x. And that we add 9. So 7y equals -4x plus 9. And then we divide by the coefficient of y. So y equals -4/7 x plus 9/7. This is the equation. This is equivalent to the equation of the given line, but from this equation it's easy to find the slope. This is the given slope. This is m of the given line, the slope of the given line. So it's -4 over 7. We plug it here, so the slope that we are looking for is -1 over -4/7. Negative over negative is positive, and then we just flip the denominator. We get 7/4. So 7/4, we put it here. So our equation becomes y minus y1 is 5, equals 7/4 times x minus x1. x1 is 4, and then y minus 5 equals 7/4 x minus 7 times 4 is 28 over 4, and then we add 5 to write the equation in the standard form. So y equals 7/4 x. Now minus 28, let me write it here, minus 28 over 4 plus 5. Actually, this can be simplified more. This is -14 over 2, which is -7 divided by 2. We get -7 plus 5. So -7 plus 5 is -2. So this is -2. So this is the equation of the line that passes through the point 4, 5 and perpendicular to the given equation. Or you can, from here, you can simplify the equation. I use the maybe the long method here, or more steps than what we need. Actually, from here, 28 over 4 is 7. So -7 plus 5 is just -2. Okay, now slope-intercept form. This form, the standard form as we described, it's called slope-intercept. Now we want to find the equation of the line that has a slope m equals -2 and y-intercept 0, 4. 0, 4, that means b is 4. And this is the slope, so all what we need to do is just to plug these information into the equation. So y equals mx plus bb is 4, and that's it. What about this problem? We want to write the equation in the slope-intercept form for this, this equation in the slope-intercept form. That means we need to isolate y. So we subtract 8x from both sides to get -3y plus 6 equals -8x, and then we subtract 6 because we usually get rid of the number that's added or subtracted, and then the number that's multiplied by the variable or divided. So this is -3y equals -8x minus 6, and the last step is to divide by the coefficient of y. We divide each term by that coefficient. Here this is positive 8/3 x minus over minus is plus 6/3 is 2. That's the equation, the required equation.